Once, a divorced bachelor down on his luck, Sheldon managed to purchase a new home in the peaceful countryside. It was a fixer-upper, but he was grateful for the opportunity to start fresh and get his hands dirty. Being from the city, Sheldon had never had much experience with yards or trees. So, when he discovered his new home had a solitary tree in the middle of the yard, he saw it as a chance to connect with nature. One day, while Sheldon was busy raking the leaves, a curious neighbor approached him and questioned why he didn't cut down the tree. The neighbor argued that removing the tree would spare Sheldon the hassle of constantly raking leaves. Sheldon, however, smiled and explained that the tree had been there longer than him, and it would be a shame to end its life for his own convenience. Impressed by Sheldon's compassionate response, the neighbor commended him for being a good person. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Sheldon settled into the old hammock left behind by the previous homeowner. He quickly dozed off, only to be abruptly woken by a powerful gust of wind swaying the hammock violently. In that moment, Sheldon heard a voice urging him to wake up. Startled, Sheldon rose from the hammock and scanned the darkness, suspecting someone was hiding behind the tree. However, his search turned up empty. Just as Sheldon was retreating to his house, the tree shuddered and its leaves rustled vigorously, creating a gust of wind that nearly knocked Sheldon off his feet. Suddenly, a voice called out, "Thank you." Sheldon, bewildered, called out, demanding to know who was there. To his astonishment, the tree leaned towards him and responded, "Me." Overwhelmed with the response, Sheldon stumbled backward, landing on the ground. The tree reassured him that there was no need to be frightened. It confessed to watching over Sheldon and listening to his conversation with the neighbor. Filled with gratitude for Sheldon's kind gesture, the tree felt compelled to repay him. As Sheldon sat on the ground, still in disbelief, he asked the tree how it could possibly repay him. The tree began recounting a tale of profound knowledge, explaining how it held sacred knowledge about the creation of the world. This knowledge was passed down through generations of trees as they communicated with one another through the movement of their leaves and wind. Intrigued, Sheldon questioned the tree about how it communicated. The tree revealed that trees were the largest living creatures on land and that through their swaying motion, they created the wind. Their leaves acted as fans, allowing them to communicate with other trees around the planet. Sheldon admitted to feeling the wind and breeze, but he had never realized it was the trees themselves communicating. The tree continued to elaborate, telling Sheldon the story of how the earth came to be. It began with celestial beings, the moon and the sun, becoming intertwined. Unable to be together physically, they collaborated to create the earth. Using their elements, they nurtured life. With trees being the earth's most remarkable creations, trees nourished the land, providing shelter and sustenance for animals and humans alike. The story progressed, revealing a division among humans, leading to two civilizations. The Earthlings cherished the trees and maintained a harmonious relationship with nature. Meanwhile, the Stonemen, jealous of the Earthlings, tricked them into forsaking their beloved trees for the Stonemen's false promises of power and longevity. The Stonemen exploited the Earthlings' trust, taking their land, chopping down the trees, and reducing them to mere servants. The Earthlings became dependent on the Stonemen for food, shelter, and provisions, ultimately becoming slaves to maintain their new way of life. As the Stonemen grew more powerful, they even turned the trees into a commodity, using them for purposes as mundane as toilet paper. Sheldon woke up from his vivid dream, drenched in sweat. He glanced over at the ancient tree, almost expecting it to acknowledge him. Deeply moved by the dream's uncanny resemblance to his own society, Sheldon felt compelled to share his experience. He decided to redirect his efforts from home renovations to writing a book based on his dream, a book he titled The Chronicles of Earth and Stone. Within months, Sheldon's book skyrocketed in popularity, earning critical acclaim and establishing him as a prominent author in the fictional genre. He garnered a dedicated following, drawn to the suspense and thought-provoking narrative. With his newfound success, Sheldon renovated his home, keeping his promise to protect the tree and building a serene space around it. He enjoyed peaceful moments with his new wife and watched their 2 children play nearby. Years passed, and when Sheldon eventually passed away from old age, he ensured that his children would uphold his wishes. In his will, he instructed them to never sell their home and to never cut down the tree. And so, the tree and Sheldon's legacy lived on, reminding future generations of the importance of preserving nature and the lessons found within the chronicles of Earth and Stone.